We're making progress on that, and I think a lot of the objectives of the police, reforms and modernization we're doing is to have police closer to the community and not in big buildings that are somewhere quite far away from the reality of how people live here. So that is definitely one of the things we have to work hard on, and we're doing exactly that.
Mayor, the city statistically is on track to becoming the worst year for gun deaths in over a decade from the summer of the gun. And many of the suggestions that were mentioned to me at the open forum discussion was we need leaders, we need role models. What's your response to that?
I think the whole idea of role models and people that can mentor kids is hugely important to this, and that's going to involve people in this community and some from outside, but mostly inside the community. People don't want to be told what to do or how to do it by people from somewhere else, and so we're working right now on all of these different kinds of programs to get those role models in place, to make sure there are programs kids in particular can go to in the summer. They can have a job where they're going to learn about experiences they can have later in life and what it takes. So they're right. I mean, there's lots to do here, and we for years weren't doing much, to be candid. And I think now there is the focus. We're having this meeting in a week or so with all three governments sitting together with the school board. Why has that never happened before now, where we had the three governments and the school board and community organizations sitting together to discuss exactly these kinds of steps we have to take together? And the other thing I'll say is this, I said it a minute ago. We must not let people divide us in this community and try and pit us against one another. We're going to solve this problem working together, all the governments, the school boards, the community itself, the police, and that's how we're going to resolve it. And I'm very committed to trying to make as much progress as possible as soon as possible.
You talked about that earlier in the week about, not dividing, individuals, organizations, communities. A lot of that had to do with the Black Lives Matters movement. This seems like trying to find the corner in a circle. It seems like a massive task to overcome. What are some of the steps that the city is going to be taking in the next coming weeks?
This is a massive task to undertake because these are deep-rooted social and economic problems, a lot of it having to do with lack of access to opportunity, some of it having to do with elements of discrimination that still do exist in our community, poor housing that we've allowed to run down over a period of many years, lack of public transportation, lack of available job opportunities in areas like this where it's very hard to find a summer job for your kid. So what are we doing? Step by step, one by one, we're addressing them. We're going to build transit. We're going to fix the housing. We're doing it now. We allocated extra money for summer jobs in this area this year. We're going to put in some proper recreational facilities up in this part of town where there aren't any. And so you just have to take these things one at a time, and I'm very committed to doing it. I know the other governments are very committed to doing it because we're working together, and I'm just not going to pay very much attention to the people who want to divide us and distract us from actually getting on with doing this stuff, because that's what people expect us to do.
There's been so much talk about the police, down in the United States. You have members of our Toronto Police Service here supporting the community also on the anniversary of Lieutenant Ross's death. What's your response in regards to, the role of the police here?
Every single thing that happened in the United States in the last few days is tragic. It's all tragic. But things are different here. And our police aren't perfect, but they're darn good. And they're here today showing their partnership with this community. And they're doing this in communities across the city every day. And that's what we have to encourage and foster to happen. A partnership between the police and the community, not to divide the police from the community. We have to work on some of the issues that are out there on all sides, but we've got to have the police as partners in this because they're essential partners to keep us safe and to work with people in this community to make things better. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do, and not to succumb to those who would divide us and have us engaged in all kinds of fights with one another. These don't accomplish a thing. Thanks very much. We'll see you later. Thanks. Okay.